बहुत वक्त मिला है फैमिली के साथ, which I never imagined could be so wonderful to spend. Yeah, and you're always chasing work, you're always chasing friends, but never are we spending time with ourselves as much as we have this year. I haven't in the last few years. Somewhere the idea of the country is changing, right? The basic fabric of the country is changing, and it's disturbing as a citizen, as an artist. And I feel the only way to talk about it is through your art, right? I don't want to go out rant on Twitter and Instagram because I feel it doesn't need to change.
Hello, everyone. You are tuned into PeepingMoon.com. This is Ankita, and today, as we are particularly nearing 2020, before we say goodbye to all the good, bad, mixed bag of memories, we also have some really good content to cherish. And who better than Nakuul Mehta to give us a rundown that unka saal kaise gaya to theek hai, but how about the content he has seen, the content he recommends, and the kind of new space we are into where every artist is there for every artist to cheer and applaud good work, which is practically the long due in our industry. So let's welcome Nakul. Hello, Nakul. How are you?
I'm doing great. So good to see you. मुझे याद है, just I think a month before the lockdown, I must have done probably my last physical interview with you. And so yeah, you're special. You'll remain as the last pre-lockdown interview. Yeah, Ankita.
Nakul, you tell me, in 2020, I know this might not be as good as a question as it sounds. It has been a tough year on many ends. But if there is a good positive takeaway you have to take from this year as an actor, as an artist, what would that be?
So of course, it's been a very trying year, difficult year for all of us. I think in different sort of magnitudes with each one, but everyone has had a lot of challenges. Uh, and I have to count my blessings that we're probably slightly more fortunate to have, a house, shelter, food, clothing, where we can talk about what did we read, what did we watch, and it actually sounds very surreal because what we were going through 6 months back, you were seeing migrants going back, and you were seeing all kinds of it was so hard, right? And in that year, to get an opportunity to discuss content feels a bit of like living in another reality, right? But that is the truth. I mean, whilst of course we've been witness to that, I think it's also been a year of great awakening. I feel, especially for me, a great learning. बहुत वक्त मिला है फैमिली के साथ, which I never imagined could be so wonderful to spend. Yeah, and you're always chasing work, you're always chasing friends, but never are we spending time with ourselves as much as we have this year. I haven't in the last few years. It's been great. I've learned a lot of domestic chores, which I have really excelled in. I can cook pretty decently now. So if you were to come back ever to Bombay, I could cook you a meal, and I think you'd enjoy it. उसके अलावा टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैंने इतना कुछ देखा नहीं है, क्योंकि ना पहले 3 महीने हमने इतना कुछ देख लिया, राइट? बिकॉज वी वर वाचिंग सो मच, कंज्यूमिंग सो मच न्यूज कि क्या हो रहा है, कोरोना नया था, सो मच गोइंग ऑन इन द कंट्री, इन द वर्ल्ड, that it came to a point where I just got tired of watching a screen. So I kind of reduced and started reading a lot more. But some special stuff I've been able to see. I think some amazing work has happened in the West here in India, which makes me really proud to be part of an industry which is like really throwing some great talent, some great content. Uh, तो उस हिसाब से इंटरेस्टिंग रहा है। अगर आप मुझसे पूछें कि कौन से शो, तो मैंने वन शो हैंड्स डाउन व्हिच फॉर मी हैज बीन like the best show I've watched this year has to be Scam. Uh, and I'm sure most people will probably tell you that, but it was phenomenal. I think what Hansel Mehta did with that show, the entire crew and cast, right? Pratik, Shreya, entire ensemble cast was just, I was blown away. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to talk about anything else. हालांकि मेरा भी show आया था, but this show was, it just was phenomenal.
Nakul, if I have to, okay, first let me jump to your show. Never Kiss Your Best Friend. When it came, I remember we were, of course, not expecting a lockdown, but it was during the lockdown. I read a lot of things on that. It was this is sweet love story, all the cute mushness of being friends, love, everything. If you have to put yourself in that shoes again, like, what was it? Why did you even sign Never Kiss Your Best Friend in the first place? If I have to ask you, because we as an audience have been seeing you as the angry young man of Indian TV, and then suddenly Nakul switches to this cute college. What happened there? What happened from Shivai to Nakul? Nakul jumping to that. What was it?
To be honest, when I first heard about it, mujhe na Mukesh Chabra's office had called me and they said, "Listen, there's a script which we think you're great for, and the channel wants to check with you." And when they said it's a romantic story based on friendship, new age, I said, "Arey, wahi hogi. इसमें क्या नया होगा?" And very reluctantly, I said, "Okay, I'll read it." But then the director called me, Arif, and he sounded very genuine. His intent sounded very earnest. And then when I read it, I said, "But इसमें कुछ है." I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's got a fresh feel to it, right? And that's the first thing I told Janki, that I didn't expect this. It reads pretty decent. It's unlike what I would imagine to do next, myself to do next. But it had a good vibe, yeah. And I mean, I don't think as actors you can think too much. I feel you have to go with your instinct. At least I go with my instinct. You don't think ये करने से क्या होगा, आप इसके बाद क्या करोगे. And I'm glad I did it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And in a year where we've seen a lot of heavy shows, the world has been extremely heavy around us. I feel it was just nice for a bubblegum, fun, yet like a meaningful relationship show to come out.
Another thing about your work, Nakul, is the constant, I would say, your social media. I have to bring it up. The kind of poetries, the kind of readings, the sessions which we always come across. Uh, Very few actors are there who touch base with the current scenario, be it of the nation, be it of whatever the climatic environment we are staying in. Was it a very conscious call for you to put across your voice like that, or does an actor it sometimes holds you back? That there is as much as I can say without facing the brickbats.
No, it wasn't a conscious thought at all. Right? इस साल में इतनी कुछ चीजें हुई हैं. I think one thing which you've definitely learned, if I didn't earlier, was to not take yourself seriously. Right? And I think the entire circus which happened after Sushant's passing away affected all of us, right? And all of us come to this industry as outsiders with very similar ambitions, similar dreams, to do honest work, to do good work. And then something like that happens, right? It shakes you up. I remember a friend of mine called me and said, "Tune pada ye, this is just coming." And none of us could believe what happened. But the aftermath was even more shocking, right? So I think it came from so Ajay, who's my collaborator, who writes all the stuff, is a dear friend, and we produced something few years back. Uh, Actually, it came from our conversation about how we were feeling, and it wasn't even ki share karna hai. We came up with something. Ajay wrote it. I said, okay, I might just put it on Twitter. He's like, do you want to try, like reciting? And I said, okay, let's try it. It's literally handheld on a selfie camera, and it was literally what we were feeling, right? And it sort of, I just put it on my Twitter and then on Instagram, and it really exploded. And we realized that a lot of people sort of felt very similarly, and I think words connected and feelings connected, and उसके बाद इस देश में इतना कुछ हो रहा है, पिछले कुछ सालों से, I think in a lot of way, and I'm not talking about this government or the earlier government. I feel, but somewhere the idea of the country is changing, right? The basic fabric of the country is changing, and it's disturbing as a citizen, as an artist. And I feel the only way to talk about it is through your art, right? I don't want to go out rant on Twitter and Instagram because I feel it doesn't need to change. What can we do? We are artists. We have poetry. We have words. We have feelings. We can put it out without blaming, taking names, but have a dialogue, right? And that's the only idea. So usse ye germ hua poems for democracy series, which we ended up doing. We ended up doing 14 of them. It wasn't an idea at all. It literally happened, right? And it really reached out, yeah. And there's no plan, there's no strategy to it. In fact, we're now going to a studio and shooting all of these because we realize that's it's been discovered by so many people who, only through my Instagram and Twitter and people sharing it. What if this was available freely for people to share and like, and we're also talking to a publisher actually. It might have a like a published edition of the book. So lots of things have happened. Yeah, none of this was planned, but I think you have to. I think as artists, you can't live in an island. You have to react. You feel so much, right? And all of us do. I feel if I can't use that in my work, and if I'm worried about what criticism I'm facing or what it makes me look like, then it's a very shallow and small life I'm living. I don't want to live like that. Yeah, not after this year, especially.
Because that has never been you. You have always been very vocal. Like there's a something which is very clear about you since as long as I've been following your trajectory. You will call it out, whatever it is, and you have an opinion. And the only sad part is that in our industry, an artist having an opinion is somehow just too much of a task to, I would say, discuss even in the first place. But Nakul, quickly before we wrap up, give me few recommendations from Nakul's diary. Few things which you have watched maybe this year, or maybe you, as you said, you were busy, but there are a couple of things on your list which you really want to take out time and watch as soon as you get something on your hand.
So I've watched a lot of stuff, right? And to start with the Indian stuff, of course, Scam was phenomenal, so amazing, and hats off to the entire team. I thought it was beautiful. I watched Choked, and I really enjoyed that as well. I thought Sayami was amazing in it, and I have told her that. Loved it. I also enjoyed Chintu Ka Birthday. I thought it was बहुत ही खूबसूरत film थी and it was made by debutant directors and just really heartwarming यार. उसके अलावा ना मैंने actually I've been watching some really old shows like I started House of Cards this year and now I'm on the fifth season and I'm just blown away by the level of work like मतलब वो कुछ और ही है. तो मैं I'm on the 65th episode now on the fifth season and it's just phenomenal. I watched You earlier this year, which has Penn Badgley, again phenomenal actor. Yeah, there's so much good work, Ankita, that it kind of makes you feel, wow, we're living in such amazing times that everyone's pushing the envelope, right? Like fellow artists. I want to watch Mirzapur actually. I hear everyone's really good in it. पर बहुत कुछ है पर देखने का वक्त भी मिलना चाहिए. So as in when I get a time, I get chance, I sort of try and watch it.
And the last question,
Yeah.
if Nakul, out of all the content which you have watched this year, कुछ steal
Hmm.
करना होता आपको कि मैं ये कर लेता काश, मतलब why not? कुछ ऐसा था जो आप steal करने को तैयार थे that I would have done it happily.
बहुत कुछ यार मतलब I think the work Vikrant Massey is doing is so good. Ali is doing some really good work. I thought Prateek has been a revelation. Matlab, I was telling a friend, I thought like after Ranveer Singh when he came out in 2010, I haven't seen anybody like really punch me in the gut in a way like that, right? But I don't know if I would steal. I'm just so happy to see their work because it really inspires me. So I don't think I would steal because I don't think anyone could do those roles the way they did it. But it inspires me. So all of them, and a lot of other there are a lot of actresses also who Shweta has been doing some really good work. Kirti Kulhari has been doing great work. Sayami has been phenomenal this year. Rasika, of course, is just outstanding. बहुत है यार मतलब पंकज त्रिपाठी साहब, I watched him in Gunjan Saxena. I thought even Johnny was good. Tripathi Saab is just like a master class. There's so much, yeah. इतना talent है हमारे around that just makes me want to work harder.
On that note, Nakul, thank you so much. And I hope by the time we kick into 2021, we have more content to discuss because I think it's time to get away from all who is the star and who is not and definitely go towards what is good available, be it big screen, small screen, because screen is a screen ultimately. It's the only medium.
I mean, the only screen which is important now is the Zoom screen, right? That's where we are doing everything, literally. Uh,
You got the best answer award. I'm telling you, I am going to tag this one. This works for me completely. But thank you so much, Nakul. This was so sweet. Thank you for taking out time. Wishing
Thank
you all the best. And I am hoping I see you super soon as soon 21 kicks in.
Yes, you take care. Lots of love to you and your family. Yeah, please be safe and enjoy Punjab ki sardi while hum
And
look.
you have all my love and luck for 1, 2, and 3. Yes, it's
Yes,
coming all your way.
very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.